Hello everyone. How are we doing? How's your week? How's your day going? Hope you're fine. I'm good over here. I'm Gucci. Hope you're good. So welcome to my channel. This is Bible Study. We'll be looking at Genesis 31. Jacob has prospered in the house of Laban. Despite Laban's plans against him, Jacob still prospered. And that is a word for someone. They're going to plan against you. They're going to cheat. They're going to try to cheat you, but they don't even know that God is with you. Oh, they're going to be shocked when they see your flock be more than they are worth. And then the podcast will be like, clock. Like, men can be wicked, but God is good. Men can try to cheat you and deceive you and rob you of the things that you need, or the things that you have earned. But God is watching. And God vindicates. Like, God is always on the side of the oppressed. I don't even know who this word is for. I don't even know why I'm starting like this for. It's just also going to bring out the point. God is always on the side of the oppressed. And He's watching, especially if you have a covenant with Him. Remember, God told him before now that I will go with you. I will go with you. So you might look like God is not seeing. It might look like, oh God, you're calm. Like, do you know how many years have passed? But God was with him all through the way. God was making sure that he prospered. We're going to see all of that here, right? So get your Bible. I'm going to get ahead of myself. So Jacob started to hear that Laban's sons were saying. Imagine the son saying, Jacob has taken everything that belonged to our father. Which son? I'm actually wondering, what's the relationship between these people, because you must be joking. You must be a joker. Laban in the last chapter planned one of his sons to carry all the, speckled, what's now, flock out of the way. They took the things away, like so far. So who was that son that he planned to deceive Jacob with? Who's that son? So first of all, Jacob is hearing, then Jacob is seeing. This is so good for me, because I'm just like, I think before now, his time was up. Basically, his time here was up. God was already nudging him, into, okay, it's time to go. And now he's hearing, he's seeing, and later on we see that God spoke to him. But I'm like, God spoke to him after he had heard and he had seen. And I think I was writing in my notes that sometimes God shows us signs. The way that God directs us, as His children. Sometimes He's going to show you physical signs. He's going to bring your ears to hear things. Are we sensitive enough is the question? That's number one. Number two, are we making sense of what we are seeing and what we are hearing? Right? Or are we just thinking that, yeah, God will lead me, and then we're not trying to use our senses? It just tells us that listening to God and God's leading involves active participation. There's some sort of activity going on here, especially here. God is trying to lead you out of a place. He's going to tell you what to do. He's going to show you, oh, see this. He's going to allow you to observe this. You're going to hear this. See, Jacob saw that his countenance has changed. The Lord said to him, go back to the land of your father and your relatives. I will be with you. So I'm like, okay. He heard first, then he saw, then the Lord spoke. So at this point, he's like, oh, sure, what I'm seeing, what I've been hearing, those facts I've been gathering is not my own. God is definitely behind me, right? Because the Lord is speaking here directly. Go back. And the Lord ends it with, I will be with you. See, the Lord is really always with us, right? The Lord is really, I remember the Lord told him before that he will be with him. So this is just God just confirming what he had told him earlier. So Jacob sent word to Laban and Rachel, of course his wives, and he's like, oh, meet me. And I found that cute, because before he took a decision, he decided to run it through his wives, or with his wives rather. And your father is doing this, your father is doing that. And it was just cute for me to see. And then he said to them, I have noticed that your father is not as friendly towards me. So he starts to say what he notices. So this fact, those facts that God was leading him to see and to observe, they served as the facts and the basis of this decision, right? Sometimes that's how we need to process things. God is going to give us facts, right? So sometimes God will walk with us with signs, showing us, making us, observe things, right? Putting things in front of us. And sometimes we just have to trust Him and believe. That's just how it is. So the goal, you might be asking, so what's the goal? How do we know? The goal is to let your spirit lead you, let God lead you. The goal is to be sensitive in the moment, to have that real-time intelligence, because that's it. Because God that says, oh, leave your father's house, is still the same God that can say, oh, go back to your father's house, right? So we are supposed to work with Him in real time. So that's just to balance it out. Now we see, just the wickedness, the wrath that Jacob was put through by Laban. Like, it was crazy. Imagine someone changing your wages 10 times. And the thing is, we're seeing the focus of Jacob. Jacob is still saying that the God of my father was with me. Jacob was still saying that God did not let him have me. So we can see that his mind was not focused entirely or completely on the hurt, but then he was also focused on God. And I'm just like wondering myself, like, how am I in negative situations when I'm clearly being cheated? When they want to show me Shege, when they're showing me Shege, when I'm going through Shege, like, can I still pause for a moment just to see God's hand in it? Can you? So this is it's not something that is very easy to do. It's just something that I just feel like takes growth and takes God. Because, man, it was a lot. But then you see him is still saying, God was with me. And that's how believers we should be. That's how God wants us to be able to see God in every circumstance. That's why the Bible said in everything we should give thanks. If you cannot see God in every circumstance, how are you going to give thanks in everything? So the seeing God in every situation leads you to give thanks, right? So you get, because I've always wondered, how do you jump from here to here? It's not realistic. But what makes it realistic is the perspective. So can you see God in our hurts? Just a tiny fraction. Can you see that, okay, yeah, I lost my job, but somehow I have survived. God has preserved me. So if we had read the story, basically, the uncle was just coming up with new rules. Like, that is how diabolical Laban was. Like, he was ruthless. Laban was the MVP of villains. Like, brah. So Laban would literally change the rule. So he was basically just doing crazy things. Like today, he would say, oh, the speckled gold will be your wages, right? And then God would just make sure that everything now becomes speckled, right? And then when he sees that, he'll change it. You say, no, today the striped gold will be your wages. And then God will do that for him. So God was just going. God was just going. Anything, God was just going against Laban just to favor Jacob. And Jacob recognized it. It was important for him to recognize it. Like, you could see that even he was being cheated. So let's be practical, let's be realistic, right? He's being cheated. He's in that place. He's going through a lot. But he's still seeing God's hand. He's still seeing that, God, you're making me prosper. Even if I'm still in his environment, you're making things go my way. They're throwing things, they're changing rules. It's causing stress for me. It's causing annoyance for me. But still, anything they say, you're using it against them to favor me. Jacob noticed that. And he was so amazing, right? And he was explaining all of it. And then he said something that was very imperative, right? He said that God has taken flock from your father and given them to me. He noticed that everything he had achieved, all the things that he had, was not of his own effort, was from God, right? And I'm just like, can I do that? Can I look at all my achievements, right? Can we look at the things that we have achieved or the things that we think that we have done, even in pain? There are times where we use pain, as an achievement. No more. I just stay like, I suffered, or I saw Shege, but I was just patient. All of that we can use as our achievement, like we did these things, but can we come and genuinely see that these things are from God? And we see that from his narration. He was saying all of that, right, to his wife. So he was just narrating, right? He talked about how he had a dream and God appeared to him, the angel of God appeared to him. He was just telling them his encounter. And this is a man that is speaking of pain, yet was still seeing God. Got this, got that. And you could see that God was with him through the journey, right? God was with him through the journey. And then God said something, right? And then he was saying something. He said, God told him the reason why he was with him. In verse 12, it says, look, he continued, all the male goats that are mating are striped, spotted and speckled. I am making this happen because I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I was just like, oh, God sees, fam. Guys, God sees. God sees. It might look like God is not seeing, but he's saying when men are wicked to you, when the world is wicked to you, when it seems like in that office, in that relationship, you're just being oppressed, you're taking advantage of, God is saying. God was seeing, and that's why he came at the right time. Remember, God is always on the side of the oppressed. Like, he came at the right time, boom, and obviously on the side of the righteous. And then it goes further, and then he says, I am the God who appeared to you in Bethel, where you dedicated a stone as a memorial by pouring olive on it, and where you made a vow to me. So God sees, he's on the side of the righteous, he's on the side of the oppressed, and what more than that, he's on the side of the one that has made a covenant with him. He honors his covenant. Remember that the previous chapters, he made a covenant, put an oil on a stone, built a memorial, he made a vow to God, and God said, you know what, I'm gonna back you up, right? So I think I wrote in my notes that memorial invite divine invitation. See, if you want the hand of God to be in a thing, just put God's name on it. Like, stamp it. When you stamp it, like, God will back you up. When he will use his weight for you, literally. Yeah, because God is faithful to his vow. God is faithful to his vow, right? And he just wanted to honor us. He was just doing all these things to remind him. I remember I told you I was going to be with you. And then he said, Rachel and Leah answered Jacob, yes, they even agreed. They were in agreement. That means their father must have really been wicked, right? Verse 19, Laban had gone to share his sheep. And during his absence, Rachel stole the household god that belonged to her father, right? Jacob deceived Laban by not letting him know that he was sleeping. So Jacob ran out a lot like that. And then it was just funny to me, the timing. It was when Laban was not around, and boom. And then again, later on, like the Bible tells us that it was 3 days later that Laban even found out that he had gone. And I'm just like, how big was the house that they didn't even know that this person is missing? Him and the entire family. Do you understand? His possession, they're gone. And I'm just like, that's crazy, right? And then Rachel is taking the household god of the father. There's so much to be said about this, right? A lot of people have said different things. She probably has not left her father's house. You might have left, obviously Jacob was, serving the living God, right? Laban was, and his other gods. And then this is the God who made rather, with marriage, presumably she should be serving her husband's gods, right? That's serving the God, the living God. Maybe she's not. Maybe she was still stuck with the gods of her father's house. So, you can leave your father's house, right? And still be stuck with those gods, right? It happens. That might be it. A lot of people have said that that's what happened to her. But for me, I was just thinking, God just wanted to show Labans some Shege. Yeah. Just wanted to disarm him small. That thing that was important to him, that thing was using to flex. Maybe it was a big deal. It definitely was a big deal to him, because we can tell later that is why he came, and he said it. Like, his rage was poured out when he was saying, why did you take my gods? Right? God just wanted to disarm him. God just wanted to remove that thing that was the thing that was strength to him, right? And that's what I genuinely felt. That's what I genuinely felt. And God does that, because Laban had started with the conversation of his God, ended with the conversation of the living God. And I'm like, we're gonna see that later, right? For this, right? Then obviously Laban pursued, and then in a dream, that my God came to Laban and said to him, be careful not to threaten Jacob in any way. It's giving, watch your step. Like, be careful. That's my guy. Don't try it. Imagine God defending him when he wasn't there, and that's how God is. It was just sweet to see. And then he goes, they have come together, and then he's accusing him. He's like, why have you done this? Why have you done that? And then obviously, if you know the story, Jacob is like, okay, search the place, and then he starts to make wild proclamations, and he's like, oh, if you find this thing, death be unto the person, right? Doesn't even know that it's beloved Rachel that stole the God. And then the story is so interesting that he starts to search with rage. He searched everyone's room. He gets to Rachel's room, and then she hid it underneath herself, and she was using the excuse of, I'm on my period, I can't stand up, and then she was sitting on it. Basically, it was just funny drama. It was just a lot. Like, we really need to study this part. It's a funny story, but with all the fun, I'm just like, what is this? That's a God that you can sit on, a God that you can hide, a God that you can use miserable pain to just give as an excuse. Don't even have a God that can be stolen. Like, bro, I'm just grateful I don't have a God that can be stolen. I don't have any energy to be plotting all this things against God. Imagine we as children of God have a God that people can steal. I will not start cooking up lies, not start defending. I ain't got that energy. Like, bro, it's too much. It's just too much. I don't have that energy to start defending my God, to start hiding. No, it's not giving. Bruh, it's not. I'm just grateful that I serve a living God that cannot be stolen. Do you understand? Imagine maybe she would have hidden the God in her bra, or maybe she would have hidden the God in her purse. Come on now. Come off it. Come, Rachel, come on now. So it was just a very, 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 very funny conversation, and I'm like, thank God for my God. So all of that happened, and then Jacob lost his temper. So when obviously Jacob did not find Laban did not find anything, Jacob lost his temper. And I said, I have been with you now for 20 years. Said, your sheep and your goats have not failed to reproduce. I have not eaten any ram from your flock. Like, Jacob worked with Laban, integrity, like serious integrity. He was saying that I have not eaten from you, I have not stolen from you, I have not cheated you. Even when natural causes happen to your flock, I paid for it, right? That was such integrity. He said, yeah, you got the loss. So you demanded that I make good anything that was stolen, even day or night. Like, Laban demanded that Jacob was going to take care of anything that was stolen. That was a lot. And I'm just like, we as employers, we need to do better. Like, how are we as employers? Like, are we so demanding? Do we have ridiculous rules over our employees? Like, are we wicked? Laban was wicked. Imagine having someone pay for something that's not his fault, right? He would say it's his fault. He's supposed to watch over, blah, 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 blah. But it's just, it was crazy. You're cheating him, yet you're still cheating him, and you wanted to be quiet while you're cheating him. That is diabolical. And then he was like, many times I suffered from the heat during the day and from the cold during the night. So then he wasn't even covering him. Laban didn't care. Let's just put it that Laban saw him not as the nephew, whatever it is, or as a slave. And that's just how it is. Sometimes we have attachment to people that we expect to see us well, but you know what they see us as? Slaves. And our reaction should just be leaving them in the hands of God. That's exactly what Jacob did. Left him in the hand of God. Right? Laban answered Jacob, these young women are my daughters. Their children belong to me. Their flock are mine. In fact, everything you see here belongs to me. That mindset though. Like, Laban is still saying everything belongs to me. That's your business. So how did they end? They made peace, but then they drew boundaries. So if you have Labans in your life, that's the best way. Just tell them, Arrivederci, bye. We are peaceful, we're fine, but let it be boundaries. Don't cross here, you don't cross here. Everybody find their way. That's literally how it's supposed to be. Alright guys, go study your Bible. Thank you for coming today. Have fun. Bye. See you next time in Bible study.